Alright, it's oil change time. I'm going to get under the car, start draining oil, and then replace the filter out of here, and then we'll get going. Get yourself one of these if you don't have one for the oil filter. Makes things a lot simpler. Cleaning up the filter, the oil filter housing a little bit, or cap, I guess. Get yourself a new filter and put it on. New filter. Make sure you have one of these cages in your oil filter cap. It is required in order to ensure the proper oil pressure so that your Vano system can work properly. So if you're missing that, make sure you get a new one. Probably having all kinds of problems if you're missing that. Get yourself a little pick tool, like this. Peel that out. Your man oil filter cap should come with it, or kit should come with it. Grab your new O-ring, put a little dab of oil around it so it slips on easier. Cinch it down, put it on the new one. Makes it sure it fits down in the right channel there. Just snug. A lot of people really torque these things down. They don't need to be torqued down that much. Just snug, that's it. Drain bolt from down below. Comes with a new crush washer in the oil filter kit. Just swap the old one out with this new one. Put your bolt back in and you're good to go. New one goes on. Back in the oil pan. Now everybody's favorite part, refilling. And that's it, oil change done. Alright, it's later. I got the valve cover off. The engine actually looks really clean. I am really pleasantly surprised by that, honestly. Normally when these things have long oil change intervals, they're really dark and burnt up. But these look fresh, I mean really fresh. Despite my best efforts to try and minimize fuel spillage, even by putting in, you know, a ton of different blue shop towels and stuff, I still got fuel that spilled down. So I've been spending the last 10 minutes trying to soak up as much of the gas out of the spark plug tubes. Yeah, anyway, so this actually looks pretty good. I don't know why it was leaking, unless maybe the previous owner just didn't have it torqued down properly. I'm not really seeing any tears. I don't know, I mean and it's still nice and soft, you know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe he just didn't get them in the right spots and it didn't, I don't know, hard to say. It just doesn't look like it should have been leaking the way that it was leaking. Maybe he just didn't use a very good quality one. I don't know. I mean, it looks fine. So anyway, I'll take this one out. I'll get it cleaned up. I'll clean up around in the ridges and put the new one on and get it installed. But you can just see it's just, I mean, you can see how much it was leaking. It's crazy. I don't know why. Alright, anyway, let's get to it. I put the new gasket on. I went all the way around the perimeter first, making sure to push all those little seating tabs in to make sure that it gets held in nice and tight. That way when you put the valve cover back on, the gasket doesn't just fall loose. Now I'm going to go back around on the inside. It's not difficult, you're just being very tedious, making sure that you get every piece of the gasket in, otherwise it'll probably leak again and you'll be doing this over. And believe me, I don't want to be back in here doing this again anytime soon. So definitely take extra care to make sure the side that tilts down, that gasket is seated really well, which is this side right here. Especially in this back corner, because that's where they tend to leak the most. Alright, I think we're ready to put it back in now. Yep, see the gasket popped out. Alright, now I'm just checking to make sure that the gasket didn't fall off anywhere all the way around the edge. Well, it all looks like it's in there fine. We'll find out shortly. Alright, so now that I got the valve cover back on, I'm going to torque everything down in sequence, 8.5 Newton meters, working from the middle and kind of crossing your way out to the outside. I'll be done here in a few minutes. Alright, I'm finishing the last couple of tidbits here to button it all back up. Overall, not a terrible job, just really tedious and painstaking. I'll give it a start here in a minute, prime the fuel system, putting everything back together, and we'll be done. Alright, that's it. Let's test the fuel system now. And in order to get this thing going, I'm going to prime the fuel pump a few times. You can hear the fuel pump kind of priming itself, starting it up. Alright. Moment of truth, let's go over there and start it up, see what happens. I'm going to leave the cover off and check for leaks. Well, everything looks good. No leaks, which is nice. Undoing those fuel injectors, it always freaks me out every time, so I just want to make sure there's no fuel leaks and so there's no fires later on, but that all seems good. Everything's buttoned back up. Hopefully no leaks this time. I got a theory on the way that these valve covers end up starting to leak, because when I looked at it, it looked like this valve cover gasket had maybe 3,000–4,000 miles on it, maybe. And it was leaking already, so I don't know if the guy that had it before me just didn't tighten things down, maybe the wrong sequence. The gasket was not torn or anything like that, so I'm not sure what was going on, but it was definitely leaking. When you're down in here, I mean, people naturally would lean on, you know, like this part or something like that, but I think maybe keep your hands off of it altogether and see if that keeps it from leaking overall. I don't know. I did the oil change. I put on a new belt tensioner and pulleys, and then changed the valve cover gasket. And the only other thing I got to do right now until I finish, so that I can finish all the things that are broken, are to install this piece. You see it very well, but brake master cylinder give me a hard brake pedal in the morning. But that'll be for another day, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be some more videos coming along like this for the BMW. I'll be starting to modify it slowly, and then also pretty soon I'll be putting in some videos about the GTR. So stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.